Welcome back to TacNTrack, guys. I'm Brad.
And I'm Gil. Today we're talking about the Dan Wesson Vigil 1911 45 ACP. Our first category is value, and I think this is an excellent value at the price point, certainly. These are in that kind of magic range where they're nice enough and expensive enough to feel special in your hand, but not so expensive that you feel guilty carrying it or using it. You can shoot this all day long, and so long as you're not bashing it with a rock, you're really not going to hurt the value on it. So really pretty good value there, and a great option for something that you want to use and that you still want to be very nice.
Now, one thing I want to bring up that I feel like Dan Wesson really cut a corner on is this gun has a front night sight. It doesn't have night sights. So they put a front night sight on there, which is great. That's really what you're going to use most of the time, is that front sight. But with that being said, for a $1,299 MSRP, I really feel like they should have put night sights both on the front and on the back at that kind of price point. Now, one thing about a Dan Wesson, anytime you're looking at something of this kind of quality, they're going to hold their value pretty well. Mm-hmm. They're going to hold up over time. They may not increase in value, but I don't see its value dropping anytime soon, which makes it a pretty safe investment. You're really not going to lose anything by buying, owning, and keeping a Dan Wesson. Now, we've got a German P38 here on the table. It will probably increase in value, but most new firearms don't. This will hold up, and it'll be a nice collector's piece, and it's a great gun to be able to pass down for generations.
I think so too. I don't think you're going to have any problems out of something made by Dan Wesson. So really a pretty good choice in terms of value. What was our score that we gave it for value there, Brad?
So we gave it a value score of 4 out of 5. The one thing I'd really like to see Dan Wesson do, put night sights on this thing.
Sure, but when it comes to nice 1911s, $1,200 is actually fairly cheap. You can spend a lot more money on a 1911 if you want to, which is why we give this such a high value score.
Yeah, and guys, we're going to do a whole 1911 series where we're going to talk about dirt cheap 1911s. We're going to grab one in that $400 or $500 range. And thanks for letting us borrow their firearms. Right. We're going to talk about the Magnum Research down here, which is a little bit cheaper than this Dan Wesson. The Dan Wesson, and a custom build like this one right here that runs you a significant amount more money. And we're going to profile all these guns individually and as a group to kind of weigh these 1911s out. But overall, the Dan Wesson is a good value. The other topic that we always talk about is ease of use. It's a 1911.
Yeah, all the controls are where you expect them to be. They're all comfortable to get to. It's not terribly difficult to rack the slide. 45 ACP is expensive, but attainable right now, where a lot of rounds you just simply can't find them. You can still go online and order 500 rounds and it'll be at your door in 2 days, unless you have it shipped FedEx, of course. But in terms of easy use, it's a 1911.
Yeah, so 1911s have some degree of learning curve and how to take them apart, how to disassemble them, how to operate them, but they're not bad at all, and there's so much information, and so many shooters are so familiar with this. You can't go to a public range and not run into somebody who's intimately familiar with these guns. So they're very, very easy to use. And one thing about the Dan Wesson in particular is this back grip safety here has a pretty decently tall dovetail, so you don't have to worry about slide bite or anything like that with these. Really, we've said this quite a few times in the past, 1911s are pretty easy to use, and we're going to give it a score of 3.5 out of 5 on the ease of use scale.
And if you don't believe us, pick one up, shoot it one-handed down at a target, see how comfortable it is.
Yeah. Very impressive to be chambering around as big as 45 ACP.
Absolutely. You expect a lot more kick out of it, and this one, even being a little bit lighter than some of the others, it's fine.
Yeah. So the next category that we always talk about is fun factor.
Fun factor.
Gil, is this something you enjoy shooting?
Yeah, absolutely. When we get on the dueling tree, this is my first pick every time. You can go up and down the side of a tree, and it's just gonna hit every time. And being 45 ACP, it's gonna move those paddles one, if not two at a time, and that makes it a lot of fun when someone else chooses their 9mm and you're shooting 45. It just really smooths things over for you.
And you can watch a video, by the way, of guys of us shooting the 9mm up against the 45. It's out there. 1911s are a blast to shoot. Their recoil control is very good. Dan Wesson did a really good job with this one. They are extremely fun to shoot. They are really a shooter's handgun, and I think Dan Wesson's really captured the essence of a 1911 with the Vigil here.
I think so too, and being a little bit lighter really doesn't impact this one in terms of the fun factor at all. Just makes it a little bit easier to carry. So fun factor, what kind of score did we give it?
We gave it a 4 out of 5. The one thing that could be improved here, and this is going to be true with any 1911, capacity.
Sure.
Right? With that being said, sometimes fun to have to reload.
Yeah. That is true. Being able to swap mags, just make sure you bring one more than the next guy. And you'll beat him every time on a dueling tree.
So one of the other categories that we always cover here is reliability.
Oh. Yeah,
so, once again, 1911.
No hang-ups at all with this gun. I put plenty of rounds through it at this point. And I feel like I'm getting better with it every day. And reliability-wise, never had a failure to fire, never had a failure to eject. Some guys have problem with the magazines in these guns, and if you buy cheap mags, you're going to get results from a cheap mag. If you get expensive magazines from Ed Brown or Wilson Combat,
Nighthawk,
if you spend a little bit extra money to get the nicer mags, you're going to have a good experience with them, and you're not going to have problems out of that gun.
I think overall, when you're looking at the Dan Wesson, just like when we're talking about magazines, you get what you pay for.
You always do.
And I certainly think it shows on the Dan Wesson as far as reliability. So we're going to give it a reliability score of 4.5 out of 5. Really fantastic on the reliability. One downside, and you're going to see this with, and you've heard us talk about it before, on any precision, well-built firearm, tolerances are tight. Keep your gun clean, right? That's all there is to it. The reliability problems that the guys have out of these are related to a cleaning issue, right? Clean your gun, take care of it. It will treat you well, and these things are incredibly reliable.
That being said, on guns that I don't plan to everyday carry, I like to run them dirty, and see at what point they're going to fail and stop. The slide's going to get caught, or a round's not going to properly seat. I want to know where that point is, and as many rounds as I put through this gun, nothing. It's dirty in there. It's very clean on the outside.
So as an overall synopsis for the Dan Wesson Vigil, I think it's a great gun.
Absolutely fantastic gun. And I suggest you buy one if you can find one. And if you find them pre-owned, you might get some extra mags with it, and it's still going to be a fantastic gun. Now, I didn't get this one new out of box, so I have no idea how it performed at that time. But I can tell you that it looked very lightly used when I bought it, and it still looks very lightly used, even though I put a lot of rounds through it. And no problems at all out of this gun. What did we give it for an overall score?
We gave it an overall score of 4.04, which is really quite high for us. I know I'm quite critical often of firearms. I really don't have anything bad to say here. Really, if I was forced to come up with a complaint, the only complaint that I would have here would be the sight. That rear sight, I just hate to see something like this have that corner cut. But if I was looking for a 1911 in this price point, this would certainly be my pick in that kind of price point. And really, it takes a lot more money to get a little bit better than this.
And we didn't really cover how beautiful the gun is. They really spent some time making this thing pretty. The grips are incredible. They've got some nice stippling on the front. They've got some smooth grain on the back. They've got the Dan Wesson insignia inscribed in there. It really is a beautiful firearm. I know that may not be important to everyone. It's certainly important to some. And if that's what you're looking for, but you also want something that's deadly reliable, accurate, fun, easy to use, the Dan Wesson Vigil.
And details. Little details are cool. I'll show you guys a picture of this mag. It's the little stuff sometimes.
It is. Inscribed on the bottom, it says checkmate and has a knight, a chess piece knight, inscribed onto the bottom of it. And I actually never even noticed that until tonight, because I usually have the extended mags in this thing. Because if you get a shoulder holster, you need an extended mag. You can hide it well. Why not?
So guys, if you are looking for a fairly expensive, but not outrageous, 1911, I think the Dan Wesson is a great choice, a fantastic firearm.
Yep. And if you disagree with that, if you think you've got a better choice, leave us a comment. Let us know.
So guys, we got some more video of us shooting this thing, so hang out, take a look at that. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to us, guys. And thanks for checking us out on TacNTrack.
We'll see you next time.
Big money Dan Wesson jams.